So has not made any effort yet. Gabbard calls out Harris for skipping Arlington, says Trump team was approved to cover. This is a Daily Caller story. Tulsi Gabbard criticized Kamala Harris for skipping the Arlington Cemetery ceremony honoring the 13th service member killed in Afghanistan withdrawal, saying Harris has not made any effort to console the families and didn't even respond to invitations from some of the Gold Star families. Gabbard also pointed out that Harris's recent statement of the support for the military was met with offense by these family. If you have a clip, Rob, you can play this clip. Go for it.
Volume, Rob.
Clear that the former president was invited in his personal capacity, as you said, by a family of one of the service members who was killed about 2 years ago during the withdrawal from Afghanistan.
It was 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
3 years
Thank
ago
you.
to
Thank
the
you for
day on
correcting me.
August 26th.
Yes, 3 years ago. The question is about the federal law and Arlington's rules that prohibit partisan or political activities at national cemeteries. And the military and also other members of other families who are buried right near there are upset about the campaign filming it and posting the video online. Do you believe that was appropriate?
You know, I checked with the campaign on this question, and they have exchanges with the officials at Arlington Cemetery. They were approved to bring a camera there to document this historic and momentous day that should not be forgotten by any American. And to have a former president there and joining these Gold Star families, I know President Trump wanted to share that with others, especially given the fact that President Biden and Harris, I heard, were invited by some of these family members. They not only didn't come, they didn't even respond to that invitation. And now to have Kamala Harris put this statement out yesterday saying that she stands with these families, she stands with the military and with veterans, you only have to look at the response that came from the Gold Star families of these 13 service members of how offended they were by that statement, given she has not made any effort, not on that third anniversary or any other time, to call them directly to offer her condolences and even apologies for their decisions that led to the loss of their loved ones.
Do you think that...
And it's great. Like, so this all sparks, PBD, because these families, these Gold Star families that lost their children, called the ex-president because they know that guy cares, okay? I remember a couple of years ago, and I had cousins messaging me, Pat, who are liberals, that were like, it was overheard that Trump said that soldiers are sons of bitches and blah, 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 blah. And sorry for my language. False story. Every single thing this guy does, they have something to say about it. So these Gold Star families, and the bombing, I think, was at the Abbey Gate, and the 13 soldiers that died in Afghanistan in 2021, which, mind you, those people died because of Joe Biden, Kamala Harris incompetence and their leadership. Period. That was one of the worst military decisions we've ever done. We've armed Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda's made a comeback, Tom. I think we spoke about this a couple of months ago. And I'm happy that she made this point. Those families called Trump. They wanted the photos. They wanted it, and he did it out of respect. They called Kamala Harris. They called Joe Biden. You know where Joe Biden was, right? He was at the beach, fondling with his cell phone. Kamala is 4 miles away in her mansion in Washington. She's there. She's right there. No caring
You're
about.
kidding me.
No, she was Pat. She was close. She's in Arlington. Is what I want to say 4 miles where Kamala's house is from there. That's Joe Biden hanging out. You know, Secret Service is guarding him at the beach.
Probably in Delaware.
And just a reminder, and you guys remember this?
No, that's guys.
Here?
That's
That's Joe Biden's beach, bro. What's going on here?
Time out.
I mean, he is watching the border be invaded on vacation.
Time out. For a second.
By the way, I thought that's secret. So I'm like, why are they running and running?
Like that seems.
Time out. For a second, you know what I was going to say? They built a wall on the beach for Biden?
Rehoboth, Delaware, or El Paso, Texas?
Oh, my God.
Rob, you pulled up the wrong one.
There.
This is the one.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. That is so
But go ahead. Finish up your
okay,
thought.
they're on vacation. And just a reminder, in 2021, during the dignified transfer ceremony at Dover Air Force Base, Mr. Joe Biden, who the media always protects, remember, he was sitting there, PBD, and he checked his watch like as if he had something better to do than be there like he was late. And then on top of that, NBC is now walking back. Kristen Walker was speaking with Tom Cotton, I believe. Rob, you can find this video. At the end, she said that Kamala attended the dignified transfer of the 13 soldiers that we saw, but they said that it implied Kamala was there. She didn't imply. She lied about it, and Kamala was not there. They actually. Oh, Rob, I sent you the tweet. Do you have the tweet? I sent you on Slack. Keep going up, Robbie. Keep going. There's a photo right there, PBD. They had to walk this back and say, our broadcast this morning, we incorrectly, fake news, that both President Joe Biden and Vice President Harris attended a dignified transfer of 13 American service members killed during the Afghanistan withdrawal. Biden was intended, but Harris was not. It's another example of how biased these people are. You can't even go and give respect to soldiers that died because of an incompetent leader without them saying, well, it's disrespectful, it's not this, it's not that. And I just think it's ridiculous. Nothing. He can't do anything right. And I've said it once, Tom, with you, where I said he could run into a burning building, Donald Trump, and save 10 kids, 3 black kids, couple of Asian kids, and you know what they would say? Why didn't he get more black kids out? They'll find something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I kind of wanted to hear from RFK on this because there's a lot of conversations from the campaign about, oh, well, there's protocols at Arlington, there's protocols for this. Do you know the number one reason visitors to Washington go to Arlington? Number one location that they go, and it's silent. And it's not the tomb of the unknown soldier. It is the hill where JFK is buried, RFK is buried, the child that they had that died after 3 weeks when they were in the White House. Remember, she was pregnant and had a child. The child is buried there. And so that is the number one, I don't want to say attraction, but that is a number one place of remembrance that is visited by people. The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier is second, but people come there, and I've been there a few times. It's absolutely quiet. I would like to hear what RFK thinks about what Trump did, because RFK's got families there, and it happens to be a lot of people come to visit and remember his family members.
Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, look, at the end of the day, like, you know how something happens, there's a loss, you're working in a company, something happens, and you know about it. If you don't know about it, you don't know how to make the phone call. But if you know about it, you're like, I'm too busy, can't make the phone call right now. Or you say, hey, send flowers, remind me to make the call the moment I'm out of this meeting. Or, hang on, guys, I need a quick phone call. You step away and make a phone call, right? I think leaders find time to do it. I mean, how busy is Kamala Harris right now? Seriously, it's not like she's doing 3 interviews a day. She's doing a 16-minute interview, 16-minute interview, and the other 2 minutes Tim Walz speaking, and her response is, next question. Next question.
And she's running
Just
off airplanes wearing earpods to avoid questions.
No, I mean, this has become comedy, but this situation here, what happened, this isn't comedy. And this is why soldiers relate to Trump way more than they do to Kamala or they do to Joe Biden.
And there's also
it's an embarrassing of a situation, because then they try to spun it and they're like, well, they weren't supposed to use cameras. So you're more worried about whether cameras were supposed to use than the fact that your candidate didn't go to visit. So she was the border didn't have a chance to go to the border, but she didn't go to Europe. Now she's this. She didn't have a chance to go to it. How busy is this lady? How many companies does she run? How many employees does she have? How many responsibilities does she have? What does she do throughout the day? Does she work out 9 hours a day? Like, what does she do throughout? I'm actually curious. What does Kamala's day look like? What does the schedule of a Kamala Harris look like on a daily basis?
Now, in full campaign mode, we obviously know. But for the past almost 4 years, Pat, what has she done? Like, great question. Nobody could tell you what she's done or where she's been. She's just hanging out in Washington. There's nothing. Nobody could tell me one single thing that she has done. And I don't mean accomplishment.
When you work for a sales company, Tom, and they use Salesforce software, you know what Salesforce allows you to do? Salesforce allows you, like, say you're a manager and you have 200 salespeople that work for you in 14 states they live in. They're not in your office. So the way companies have figured out a way to hold people accountable is you post your appointments throughout the day. What if we don't find out the appointments now, but what if you reveal the appointments you ran and what you did 30 days delayed? What if everybody can find out what the VP does throughout the day, Hey, you work for us. We pay you the salary. Taxpayers pay the salary. Shouldn't we know the schedule that you had in the month of June or July?
I think so.
I think that's pretty cool for us to know. I think it's a form of accountability. So you're like, you were off today. What the hell did... So even if you see CNBC conversation about this, we had a meeting with this, we had a meeting with that, I don't know what she does for a living. Honestly, I don't. I know we're paying her a good amount of salary, but I don't know what she does throughout the day. Adam.
The only thing that I just sort of want to point out is, we have 2 veterans here, right? Army, Air Force. I think there's just, and this is overall.
I thought you were going to go somewhere else.
Or a seaman?
No, I thought you were going to go like 2 veterans and a senior citizen. I thought you were going.
No,
you were about
to.
Me and Tom have turned a new leaf.
Okay, go ahead.
Good.
Continue. Go ahead.
But here's the question: what was the last president to serve in the military?
Senior.
Who was it? Was it
Senior
George
or
H.W. Bush?
GW?
Bush Jr. was in the Navy, right?
Yeah.
He was
Was he though?
pilot? I think so.
I thought he was Texas National Guard.
Texas National Guard, but I think he was a pilot. Yeah.
So I think So there is
was
National
the last
Guard.
one to serve in combat, but he was the last. His father
H.W. Bush.
last to serve in
And
combat.
you're talking about a guy who was literally jumping out of planes in his 90s. I mean, that's a whole nother level.
Yeah.
But I feel like as an American, there's just an overall detachment from our servicemen and women from the general citizenry and the general population. And that's one of the greatest things that I've learned since being at Valuetainment is just salute to our people that are out there serving our country. And I've had the privilege of working and being around Marines and veterans and of all sorts of things. And I think in America, we're so detached from what our servicemen and women are doing out there. It's not even a part of our daily life and existence. So I think there's a trickle-down effect or even a trickle-up effect that what does Kamala Harris know about serving the country? Like, what does she even know? And there's a lot of people who say, well, what does Donald Trump have to know? Fair, I understand that. But there seems to be one party that stands a little bit stronger with the military and hardcore American values. And there's another party that is simply sort of acting as if they do. I wish there wasn't such a disconnect and a sort of detachment from our actual military, especially from the commander-in-chief. That's the thing. You have the president and the commander-in-chief. The president is the chief executive of the country. He's also, or she potentially, is also the commander-in-chief of the armed forces.
Of course.
And that's super important.
Yeah, and you made a great point. If you think of which out of these organizations, these unions, police, firemen, military, you think they lean more Republican or more?
Yeah, they're definitely more
100%, especially when you say stupid stuff like defund the police. Where do you think all those people are headed?
But then look, the Democrats are better than marketing because they'll take one comment that Trump said. Yeah, I like my people not captured. Boom, McCain.
Yeah.
Right?
Let's go to
he
the
went
last
to
story.
Normandy and he didn't face the right way.
Last
that
story
kind of
before
thing.
we wrap. One thing to know, the debate is officially happening. Next is a Tuesday night, Rob. So we're doing, right after the Vol Conference, I'm going to be at the Vol Conference this weekend at Palm Beach Convention Center. Bunch of people will be there. Thousands of people are coming from around the world. Cannot wait to see all of you guys. However, next Tuesday night, we will do a live Trump-Harris debate reaction with a live audience. But just like last time, we don't sell the full room because our employees like to come. We're only selling the first 50 tickets that buy. We will still do the VIP. We'll still go afterwards, have the cigar, the conversations. We're going to do that part. That's the QR code. Go get registered. The first 50 that buy tickets will be invited to be with us next Tuesday. Rob, what time is is it going to be a 6 to 11 type of situation that we're doing?
Yes, 7 p.m. to 11 p.m.
7 p.m. to 11 p.m. And, of course, we'll do the cigars right after the debate's over with. And there's a lot of craziness going on here, but especially with everything going on right now, if you're following this will be the first debate they're having. Come join us. We'll have a good time together, as well as potentially for the VIPs, we'll do cigars and conversations afterwards.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.